The sync is happening, but when and what should you expect? How's it, everybody? Celtic Link here. We're back for another Dokkan battle video. In today's video, we were talking about some special bit of information that has come during Global's Explosive Power Decisive Punch campaign, Part 2, and what I believe it means for the future of the sync of the Global and JP versions. We know it's coming. We know it's honestly not that far away, so in this video, we're going to focus on when we can expect this to happen and what we expect to see in order to make it happen by their achieved date. So let's go ahead, let's open this up with the date. We already know, thanks to their Global's producer letter, as well as the numerous times that they have mentioned it across both JP and Global Dokkan in their videos, the sync between the two versions for Global and JP will occur in the late summer. That basically means for Global and JP that by the worldwide celebration. So last year, the worldwide celebration started around the last week of August, roughly the 25th to the 26th. Could possibly even start before that if we include the countdown campaign, right? Depending on how they decide to handle that, as early as the 18th, right? So, I mean, if we look at what those corresponding dates are for this year, right? So like last year, the 18th, I think was, let me pull up the calendar here. Last year, the 18th was on a Thursday, and the 20th, Friday, actually. No. So it was on a Friday. Sorry, we got to look at my time here, right? So it was on a Friday, and then the 25th, 1 week later, another Friday. So if we look at what that is this year, likely expectation for worldwide, if we do the countdown, we're going to be probably looking at the 16th, and then the actual campaign starting on the 23rd. So we can assume that if their words are to be true, this campaign for full synchro is going to be happening sometime between the 16th and the 23rd. Now, while that may seem like a long ways away, it's not that long away, and it's also jam-packed full of content that's got to be squished together in order to make it happen, and it kind of looks like they're already doing it, and none can be evidenced further by looking at the current Global Part 2 campaign for the Hirudegarn and Super Saiyan 3 Goku campaign. In a surprise turn of events, we have the Int Gotenks EZA, as well as another world tournament. This is maybe one of the quickest turnarounds for a world tournament we've ever had, right? We literally just had one 2 weeks ago, and we are already entering the next one. I'm not complaining. I do want more copies of that LR Pilaf, but it is a big turnaround. But that, to me, even with these two things, right, like these are pretty big indicators that we are quickly stepping on the gas pedal towards full synchro. If that weren't enough, Global has also announced the next server maintenance, which will be performed to conduct the next system update. And we already know this because they mentioned it in a previous producer letter. Now, if we compare that to JP Dokkan here, we're only one version behind us. So this next maintenance for the server update is going to bring this right here, the version 5.19, which doesn't do anything too crazy. It just consolidates quest mode and a few other main UI changes. Nothing too crazy there, but the point is that this maintenance on the 18th will bring this about, and so that's in just about 3 days. And JP, along with this, also had the announcement for the, where is it here? Super EZA Gotenks, which will be dropping, for them on the 17th, so in 2 days, which is just about, so I imagine Global will see the info drop for this after that maintenance. They're probably waiting for that maintenance to drop this on Global, so we'll probably see the Super EZA for Gotenks right after that. So I feel like if this happens right here, this basically confirms that they will be accelerating in such a manner that they might scrap this celebration for the current celebration on JP altogether, because I mean, if we look here, right, so JP Dokkan is on this celebration for Dokkan Fest Topo. They are now entering their part 2, and aside from the part 2 LR, right, without the EZA Gotenks, either one, the only thing this campaign really brought was a new quest mode stage, some new ESBRs, and the legendary Frieza event. Other than that, this campaign had literally nothing new. So, well, what does that tell us? Well, what that tells us is that by simply moving the 2 EZAs out of the celebration, there's nothing left for the celebration. We know for the Legendary Frieza event that this event was initially edited and created thanks to the data back in March, which was during the First Form Frieza campaign on JP, right? This campaign here. So it's highly likely that the Legendary Frieza campaign will probably be added to this campaign here on JP, right? It doesn't seem like they've moved anything else. As far as we know, Bardock's EZA hasn't been moved, neither the DB story. We know we will be getting this very, very soon. Now with Chain Battle being gone, we might get this sooner than this celebration with Chain Battle being gone now as well. And then, you know, this campaign actually had a whole lot going on in it compared to the Topo celebration, so I think it's highly likely we could see Topo mashed in the rest of his celebration, including the Part 2 LR Ginyu, who is already slated for June for Global as per previous years with the March Part 2. It always comes in June for us. There's a pretty high likelihood they may just scrap this celebration altogether to help us proceed forward with the sync. Now, what does that mean for Topo, right? If they get rid of this celebration, right, well, what about the unit, right? As we can see, it would seem as though they're moving all the events. What about the Dokkan Festival Topo? Well, I think I am still in the boat that at some point a catch-up banner will release. After all, Topo isn't the only unit that we are to be missing by the time Worldwide hits, assuming that is the actual sync date, per their words from their video. So, well, what does that mean? Well, we know Frieza is all but guaranteed to show up in June along with the LR Ginyu. So Topo and then a couple other units are probably going to jump in with him. So last year that was, where is it? Not this one. This one here. Yeah, okay, so we have last year's June Dokkan Fest following the Golden Week campaign. We already know that's going to be happening synced up here at the end of the month. So last year's June campaign was the Dokkan Festival Turles. Following them in July, of course, we had the Tanabata celebration. I'm going to save this part for another video because I'm honestly still not sure where this is going to slot in. I think this may just be one of those standout celebrations that may still have to show up in November, at least until the full sync happens, because I mean, unless they I just don't see them dropping an LR right before Annie or right in between Anniversary and Worldwide. So to be completely honest, I'm gonna say that this Tanabata may just wait until November, and then JP just may that might be when JP gets Rose, to be completely honest, in order to ensure that, you know, we have some leeway there for this. So with that in mind, we still need the June Dokkan Fest, and last year, right, we had the Super Trunks for the July Dokkan Fest or I'm sorry, not July, the August Dokkan Fest. So we're basically more or less 3 Dokkan Fests behind. So what I can absolutely see them doing in August, right after the anniversary campaign, right? Anniversary campaign will conclude at the end of July. In August, what I can see them doing is adding whatever the June Dokkan Fest is, the July Dokkan, I keep saying July, the August Dokkan Fest, and then Topo, and combining the 3 celebrations into one massive celebration between August and the start of the worldwide celebration towards the end of the month. That's really, I mean, at this point, to me, that's really the only way this works out. So if we can kind of pace this out again, right? So right now we are in Global's campaign. So here we are, the month of May or April, leading into the month of May. So we basically have all of Topo's info here other than Topo himself, right? We will know at the end of maintenance if we end up getting the Super EZA. To me, that kind of confirms all of this, basically, if that ends up dropping here, because then there's basically nothing left to Topo's celebration. So let's assume, for the sake of argument, this is the way it's going to go down. So right now we have all of this in the month of April. May will kick off. We will have a shared Golden Week campaign, whatever that ends up being, you know, Majin Buu Saga, Namek, whatever it ends up being, right? That'll conclude for the month of May, which will also include a new Part 2 LR, right? Some yellow coin LR to be determined. So that's a full campaign. There's not really much room to slide anything there. Following that, right, Global will go into the First Form Frieza campaign here, this campaign. We're going to get all of this stuff here for part 1 in the lead up to the anniversary. The part 2 will happen halfway through the month, and that is likely when we will begin in the next quest mode stages and the LR Ginyu, as well as all the anniversary countdown stuff, the Movie Bosses 2 Red Zone, as well as the STRUI Goku EZA. So all of that will be happening in the month of June. Then we will enter anniversary at the start of July. Usually by July 7th, anniversary is in full swing. That will run all the way through to the end of July, and we'll get all the great details and whatnot that come with this. All the Gogeta, the Broly stuff, all the Beast Gohan stuff, all of that good stuff will be in here, leading all the way up to the end of the month. And then we will kick off August, which I believe will be the countdown to the sync. I think that's probably how they're going to celebrate August, instead of it just being a random Dokkan Fest month. This also means that JP, so for JP, we might get a simultaneous release for the August Dokkan Fest, or they might do something else, right? That might give them, they could do Rose there. They would still have to figure out something for Tanabata, but I'm sure maybe they'll do a matching LR or do a rerun banner. Who knows? Maybe. I mean, Global gives rerun banners all the time, so who knows? Either way, the point is, August, I firmly believe that we will be seeing, where is he? Topo, and then whatever the August Dokkan Fest is, and then whatever the June Dokkan Fest is, setting up in this August campaign, leading into the worldwide celebration, which I think is, according to their words, when the sync will happen. This is the best idea I can come up with, the information we currently have, but it does seem to heavily hint towards it based on the fact that they went ahead and basically moved all of Topo's celebration into the part 2 here, including the World Tournament that was part of that, right? We are advanced on the World Tournament. We still got one more to catch up on, and then we will be basically caught up with it. So, guys, that is it for my video. That is my theory on how this is going to play out leading into the sync in late August. If you guys like the video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And in the comments down below, let me know, what do you think is going to happen? How do you think they're going to play things out leading into the sync? Do you think I'm onto something here? Or do you think they're just going to keep playing it the way they're playing it, and at some point we're never going to be truly caught up on Dokkan Fest? Let me know what you think in the comments down below, alright? I mean, another possibility is they just rapid fire banners throughout the month of June or August. I don't think either one of those is likely, but I have heard talk. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Otherwise, guys, as always, thanks for watching, and aloha.